Hey, magic makers. I wanted to break in with you for something new that I'm giving a try, and hopefully you like it. So, I always like feedback from you. So I wanted to do these, what I'm calling them little nuggets, little mindset nuggets. And I do this every week in my Fit Girl Magic Society, which is my membership group. And every Friday I give them a little bit of, like, I call it a Face It Friday. And I feel like Friday's the day that you have a little bit more space in your brain to really kind of sit back and think about it and reflect. And it was like reflection that has really helped me to break free from all of my madness, all of my craziness. And today, I was doing check-ins, and the one thing I wanted to talk about, or that seems to be coming up, is this whole concept of being behind, right? Like the whole thought of, like, oh, I'm so behind. And who are you behind? Who are you behind? And when I picture this, how, like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm late for work and I'm behind like the slowest car on the freaking planet, and they're just driving the speed limit. And I'm just like, oh my God, could you just go faster? So do you feel like you're behind this car, this invisible car? Who is this invisible judge that you are behind? And it's the question I always ask when it comes to behind. It's like, where do you think you should be? Right? Have you clearly defined what success is? Are you judging it based on past you? Or are you judging it based on, you just read Sharon's social media post and Sharon's talking about she lost 30 pounds, or, Hannah's talking about this, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm so behind. Well, here's where, I'm going to say this, and it might seem a little harsh, but I wanted to, like, sometimes you need a kick in the shin to wake yourself up. Does Hannah, Sharon, whoever the hell you're comparing, what does their life look like compared to yours? All right, this is this is what I mean by that. Let's pick Sharon. Does Sharon got kids? Does Sharon have a more than full-time job? Does Sharon have a spouse that travels, that makes you a single mom most of the week? Is Sharon taking care of aging parents? Is Sharon sleeping? Is Sharon a stress ball? What does Sharon's life look like? Because if we compare apples to apples and she's getting what you want, then okay, let's figure some stuff out. But if she's not like you, she doesn't have circumstances similar to you, ah, right? We can't compare ourselves to that. It's kind of like moms, when you compare the moms who, like, bake for school versus the moms who, like, we swinging by the Star Market, we picking up some cookies, and we're going to be grateful for that, right? We have to, we have to decide our pace. And I know for many people, our pace sometimes frustrates us, right? And I heard this, I was recently at a mastermind of my own, and the one of the speakers said, pick a pace and make peace with it, right? And that was just like, that hit me like a ton of bricks, because so many times we equate busy, right? Busy, doing with productive. And we equate people getting the goals that we want with they're there. And I have to say, we got to roll it back. And I have to ask you, what, once we compare our lives with the person who we think is, ahead of us, we have to decide, what is my pace right now? And so I always like to think about it as seasons, right? The seasons, like, if you think about it like as the kind of the weather seasons. In winter time, right? And if you look at nature, wintertime, things are slow to, like, hibernating, and there's not a lot of activity or change going on. And so I always tell people, like, if that's you right now, there's like, you're at a pace where things are slow. I equate it to, I have a client, her son is an elite athlete, and she's chasing him all over the freaking Northeast playing basketball. There's no way she can focus on, all the things when it comes to health and fitness. There's no way that she, like, that's her focus right now. That's her priority. Like, she wants to make sure her son is getting the best he could possibly get. I have another client who's a tax attorney, a tax client, not a tax client. She's a CPA. That's what it is. She's a CPA. There's no way she could focus on that during tax season, right? So that's her winter. Like, things are just like, it is what it is. Then we move into spring, right? Things start to defrost, things start to open up. So maybe I can add a little bit more to my plate. I can make a few more changes. Then summer comes, right? Things start to like really bloom, really get going. So maybe I can add a little bit more, add a little bit more. And then fall comes where the harvest is like, okay, I know winter's coming. What are the things I know I can easily continue to do right now and start to make peace with my pace is going to start to slow down when I enter winter. And so when I ask you, when you decide like I'm so behind, are you asking yourself these questions? Who is this invisible judge? How are you defining success? Is your definition of success unrealistic? Is your definition of success unsustainable? And here's where my goal is to like open up these questions for you, because if I ask myself better questions, I'm going to get better results. And so I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this like mini client case study. So I have her client, Michelle. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. My client, Michelle, and she is trying to lose 5 pounds. And she got COVID at the beginning of January, like pretty much everyone on the planet. She got COVID at the beginning of January. It took her a little bit longer to recover. She was always feeling tired and exhausted. And now she's pissed at herself. She's like, I'm going on vacation and I haven't lost these 5 pounds. And so basically I said to her, you're in your winter right now, right? You had, COVID has taken you a little bit more time to come back from, and that's okay, right? We all have things that take us to come back from. But she's like, 5 years ago, I was able to, just go to the gym and it would go away. And I was like, okay, but 5 years ago, you had no kids. In the last 5 years, you have a kid who's 5. So your life's a little bit different. You're not sleeping as much. You get a little more stress on you. And you had a virus that we're still trying to figure out what the hell it does to you long term. So give yourself grace and focus on what we can focus on. Because as soon as I start snowballing about all the shit I can't control, then I focus on that. And then I'm like, oh, might as well just not do anything. No, here's what I can do. And here's what I told her. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Run your own race. And we're going to focus on 2 things right now. Every meal you put in your mouth has protein in it. And every meal you put in your mouth has either a fruit or a vegetable. That's it. That's all we're going to focus on. Because when I start piling on, I got to do this, it is very hard to keep that pace up. But if I can only focus on 2 things, it brings it down to earth, makes it more accessible, obtainable, and I'm most likely going to do it. So if you feel like you said to yourself, I got it so behind. 1, who are you behind? Like define this person. Who are you behind? And why do you feel that you are behind? Right? If you want to go a little deep, like that might be a little too much, but I just want you to point out, who the hell are you behind? And if it could be a version of you that you were 5 years ago. And if that's the case, what was your life like 5 years ago? What has changed in the last 5 years? And like get real with that. And then say to yourself, what are 2 things I can do that can become non-negotiables in my life, that no matter where I am on the planet Earth, I can do these 2 things. And I would love to hear like what that is for you. Or if you're like, girl, I don't know how to do that, reach out. You can always find me on the socials, Instagram, Kim Jefferson Coach, or also on Facebook. All right, ladies, have a fabulous Friday. I'll talk to you next week.